now. All right, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Holy crap. Man, I tell you, things are going to have to just slow down. Things are going to have to slow down real soon. Thank you there, Hand. Things are going to have to slow down because, ladies and gentlemen, there is definitely almost too much going on, and I just don't know that I can handle much more of this. Things are getting just absolutely crazy. I've been at the house all this evening doing some editing and taking a look at ways to make sound boost. I've also been running all over the county, and then at 7 p.m., I was at a candidate forum at Muncie Central High School where, ladies and gentlemen, I witnessed two firsts today. Two firsts. I was first this morning, witnessed some of the worst behavior that I've ever seen from a political official. Some of the worst behavior that I have ever witnessed, ever from a political, an elected official. It blew my mind. And then this evening, I witnessed, in my honest opinion, I think that Jeff Robinson made Dan Ridenour a Jeff Robinson supporter. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, it's totally crazy to me that everything that I have just witnessed today. Today has been an amazing day. Yeah, someone said, do you think that Sproles ate paint chips when he was little? screw the chips. I think he ate the entire painted house. He just ate eating them. He's sprinkling that on. Sproles is sprinkling paint chips on his food like my mother sprinkles salt, man. I'm telling you, it's just absolutely out of control. So I know I'm going to break some people's hearts, because what I had planned to do this evening was cover two things. I had planned on covering, number one, Mother, what are you doing on Facebook? You know you got to be watching on YouTube. Are you kidding me? You're watching from the wrong place. Anyways, whatever. That's fine. It's the thought that you're here that counts. Here's the thing. I had planned on covering two different things. I was going to talk about, first, I was going to talk about the situation with John Sproles and the Henry County Commissioners. Plain Ugly. That's the name of this episode. Episode 029. 029. Now, I gotta say, I gotta be really honest, okay? Somebody text me the name of the show, and if I would have seen that text message before I went live, I would have changed everything, because the text that I got right before I went live was much better than my Plain Ugly. The text that I got said bad karma, Karma. And I'll be honest, that's almost a Brandon Rudd title. But it didn't come from Brandon Rudd. It came from somebody else who is not She Who Shall Not Be Named, but it's another not be named person. I gotta be honest, Bad Karma, that's a pretty kick-ass title for this deal with Sproles. So that's that. I was going to talk about the Sproles deal. And then I was also going to talk about this live on location candidate forum between Muncie City, City of Muncie, Indiana Mayoral Forum that just occurred at the Muncie Central Schools that was hosted by the League of Women Voters of Muncie, Delaware County, and sponsored by the Greater Muncie Chamber of Commerce. The forum was hosted at the Muncie Central School Auditorium and moderated by Dr. Chad Kinsella. And I was going to then talk about that. However, the second thing that I witnessed today that's mind-blowing and out of this world is the fact that I literally witnessed one candidate turn his opponent into a supporter for him. I think that Jeff Robinson made Ridenour a Robinson supporter. I don't know. It was a murder. Politically, Robinson murdered Ridenour. Politically speaking, he left him on that stage murdered politically. I've never witnessed. This, in my opinion, is very similar to the Kennedy-Nixon debate, where Nixon looked all haggard on TV and he hadn't shaved. The only difference is on radio, Nixon won that because he came off sounding better and Kennedy sounded young and kind of inexperienced and da-da-da-da. But with the new wave of television, Kennedy did much better. There was no medium in which Ridenour did better than Robinson tonight. Just there was no way. Smoke signals, hieroglyphics, podcast, Channel 13 news recording, camera recording, in person, whichever way you watched that event or will watch it, you will see an absolute political beatdown. Okay. I want to say this, though. I am not going to talk about both of these events tonight. I cannot do both of these events. Both of these events would make the show a 3-hour-long show, and I just don't have that in me tonight. Number two, both of these events deserve their own show. So, since what I've done is I did live stream the forum. And if you want to go and watch the forum, if you're someone from Muncie and you would rather watch the forum than this Henry County video, you can jump off of here and go watch the forum. And it's on my YouTube page, on our YouTube page. And you can go watch that if you would rather do so. Or you could watch this and watch that later, which that's what I would prefer for you to do. But, you can do it however you want. Don't, far be it from me to tell you what to do. You can live your life however you choose. I would prefer for you to watch this and then watch that, but it is what it is. I just want to let you guys know ahead of time when you go to watch that video, or if you watch it later or whatever goes on. I want to let you know, I want to apologize up front. When I first got into the auditorium there is like a tomb, and it doesn't do well with picking up Wi-Fi and all of that. Number one, I sat really far back from the stage. In years past, I had set up way up front, and so you could see them clearly. But doing that made it not listenable. So this year, I've done what I tried doing once before, which I set back by the back so I would be closer to the outside of the auditorium, because I thought, well, maybe you won't be able to hear them, or you won't be able to see them, but you'll be able to hear them better. Well, that didn't really work, and the audio is a little wonky right at first, but stay with it, because in pretty quick order, we got it figured out. And what we did is we kept the picture, and we had Kate jumped in. I noticed that they were live streaming the feed, and Kate jumped in and shared the feed, and we were able to hear it. So the audio might be crap, but you're not there for that. You're there for the sound. The sound is what.
And the Muncie Land Bank can work with existing nonprofit organizations who are working in that space as it is, in rehabilitating some of those homes and making them livable. Eco Rehab is one of those organizations that comes to mind. Of course, Habitat for Humanity.
There are
other organizations that are working in that space. So not only do we need to provide an easy pathway.
So that is there, and you guys will be able to check that out. It will be up forever, so you'll be able to check that out. That being said, tomorrow I am going to go into that video and break down and give you my thoughts about what the candidates each said, what I think about what the candidates each said, and I'm going to talk about everything that goes on with that. So you will get to hear more than just the actual event. But I got to be honest, I felt like tonight there was nothing more that needed to be said. There was nothing more that needed to be said, because he kicked ass. Jeff did tonight. I got to be honest. Tonight, instead of this, what we will be watching, what we will be seeing, is the single-handed craziest behavior that I have ever witnessed from an elected official during a public meeting. It's mind-blowing. And for the very first time, I am going to outwardly and openly say, I didn't say it when he was racist to the kids on the bus, but I could have. I didn't say it when he was an asshole to the black cop, to our friend, I shouldn't just be like the black cop. I just am letting you guys know, to the cop of color, Roger Humphreys. I should probably use his name. That would be more respectful. The black cop. I've been dealing with Sproles too long. I could have said it then. I could have said it with all of the phone calls and all of the emails. I could have said it when he shot Marquette Neal. I could have said it when he pulled over Riddick. We'll be talking to Riddick on Monday the 18th. You'll want to tune in for that. That's going to be a great interview. And a lot of stuff is coming to light. But I'm telling you, after what I witnessed today, I can legitimately say, although I am not a doctor and I am not a psychiatrist and I'm not a psychologist and I have no authority to give any kind of opinion on his mental health or his physical health, something is way off center with John Sproles. And he is very, he's very delicate, which to me makes him very dangerous. And I believe that it means that everybody in the community should be very careful interacting with this man. Anybody on his department that disagrees with him should be careful interacting with him. Any other political figure that disagrees with him should be careful interacting with him. Any person in Henry County or anyone driving through Henry County should be careful interacting with him. Any person of color is crazy. Because the way Sproles is dealing with that and has been dealing with people of color, I honestly can say, listen, Sproles has a problem. So there was a meeting today, and this meeting was the Henry County Commissioners. I've been to absolutely. And I should be very careful with him. Charlize, you should be careful. Anyone should be careful. Anyone that's watching this from Henry County, and I know that there are a lot, and there will be a watch. Good God, don't speed. Don't get pulled over. Okay? Just loud and wrong. No, Road Warrior, you're wrong. No. He is absolutely trying to be ugly. He did not say it. I was looking for him to say it today. I thought that he might say it at some point, but he didn't say it. And he was looking to be ugly. Everything that he did. Now, I know I saw a couple of people say that Josh did a video on this. I don't think Josh gave any commentary. Josh just uploaded parts of the video where the argument was, the fight, and I think that's great. I think everyone in the world should see this, whether you live in Henry County or not. Okay, yeah. I'm telling you, it's nuts. So, without further ado, we're going to bring this forward. I want to make sure that we've got. I'm going to have to do this a little bit different than what I originally done. The Henry County government about 2.5 or 3 years ago spent $80,000 on their video camera system. They spent about $80,000 and they upgraded their system. And what that system upgrade got them was basically the video security system from from the movie Clerks from like 1991. It's literally the worst system I've ever seen. So I'm going to show you here what this looks like, and then I'm going to explain to you what we're going to have to do. That's a very good possibility, Audie. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Okay, and sounds like. The sound is going to get better, trust me. This is just what it sounds like. This is what $80,000 sounds like and looks like.
Have the commissioners had an opportunity to review the minutes of the previous meeting? And if so, do I have a motion?
Their system is better than Randolph County's. I will agree.
A motion and a second to accept minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Have the commissioners had an opportunity to review the claims? And if so, do I have a motion?
And honestly, it's not bad today. It sounds a little bit louder than normal.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify
Tell
by
me
saying
where
aye.
you guys are with the sound. Is the sound good or bad?
Have the commissioners had an opportunity
Give me
to review
give me a
payroll? So do I have
5
motion?
if it sounds okay. Give me a 3 if it's medium, and give me a 1 if it's bad.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0.
5, 3, 1. 5 is
Mr.
good.
Murphy.
3 is okay. 1 is bad.
Good morning, commissioners. Thanks for the opportunity to give you an update. Prior to the meeting, I handed you a document recently released by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation about READY and READY 2.0. On the first page there, it talks about the goals and focus areas, and then it gives examples.
Okay.
Quality of life, quality of place.
I'm
quality
gonna
of
I'm gonna
opportunity.
try to do the more volume thing.
If you
Here we
turn
do.
the page.
We're gonna see what this is
It's
like.
printed double-sided, so the back of the first page. The total appropriation.
Now this is nobody.
Is
We're gonna get
500
to.
million.
I'm just using this as a tester
The
real quick.
maximum commitment.
This
to
is
region,
their
and
this is their
different
economic
from
development
READY
guy.
1.0 is 75 million. So the last round of READY was 50 million. So that is a change up to 75 million. I will let you read the eligible activities on your own, but I will point out that this is a little different than, say, local government public money. This funding can go for the benefit of private projects. And
Oh, so that's their
prior to
mayor.
this coming out,
Funny
I was
joke.
Curious on how to enter.
Now, tell me what this sounds like. Tell me what this sounds like, this volume wise. Hold on. play a little bit of on the fly editing. How are we doing with sound here? It's not playing yet. Stand by. Of course. Okay.
Make the funding allocation, and then it will be a collaborative process between the region and the state on what actually gets funded out of our allocation, which is a little different than first round. First round was you have X amount of dollars for the region, and the region pretty well decided what was funded with approval from the state. But it sounds like the state is going to be more involved in picking projects.
Well, so here's what you're going to have.
And so I'll get you some updated information as that becomes available.
You're not going to have picture. Does that matter? So right now, in the future, we will be good because I will be able to upgrade it and I will be able to marry them. Right now, we need to decide what you guys want more or what matters. Do you want picture with picture with picture with crappy? Okay, all right. Here. Picture's nice. I love that you guys are honest. All right, we're gonna try this one last thing here. Brought. Okay, we're gonna do it like this. This is cribbed straight from an old buddy of mine, Mr. Joshua Kimbrell.
We can move back to the discussion of the sheriff's vehicles.
What was the total we were working with for a single vehicle?
I believe it was $60,000 to purchase and equip. I had asked specifically for 6 vehicles equipped, so I'm trying to run the math. 6 is 360, but I thought I asked for 330,000. I'm not sure what the exact number was there. I want to say a couple things here. maybe I'll wait till I hear further. Are we attempting to pull the money
Annie,
out,
watch this.
of the
Don't go anywhere.
330,000 that I had requested for these other items? Is that
No.
what I see happening? No, okay.
These are all
Okay, yes,
separate discussions from your vehicles.
So if I remember right, I thought I asked for three.
And just briefly, who we're looking at here? We're looking at Sheriff John Sproles, ass. He's an ass right here. All right. This is Joe Wiley. Joe Wiley. He is the newest Henry County Commissioner. The newest Henry County Commissioner. He is a retired state police trooper. And he is a Sproles ally. Back the blue till you drop, or whatever, thin blue line. He's gonna back Sproles. He's a Sproles trolls, all right? He likes Sproles, and he's gonna do what John wants. Him and John hang together. They're cool, all right? The guy in the middle is Steve Dellinger. He's like the cowboy. In Delaware County, I call our fake commissioners, James King and Shannon Henry, I call them the cowboy kids. And really, it's because I used to type it. It really is cowboy. Cowboy is a fake cowboy. Cowboy kids. And boy is spelled B-O-I, but I started calling them the cowboy kid commissioners. The difference is Steve Dellinger is like the real cowboy. He is wearing boots, and he's got snakes skin boots, and he's got spurs on, and he walks down the hallway, kind of talks like John Wayne a little bit, and so he's got that thing going on. He might be wearing assless chaps. I'm not really sure. All right, and he's been on for a couple of years. And then down here on my right is Bobbi Plummer. She's been on there for a couple of years, okay? They're all Republicans, and he's a Republican. This man over here in the suit is the Henry County Attorney, Joel Harvey. He's the Henry County Attorney, all right? I used to fight pretty hardcore with Bobbi Plummer and with Steve Dellinger, all right? When they were part of the commissioners, when Ed Tarantino was in this seat, when Ed Tarantino was the third man. I've got to be honest, in the last couple of months, definitely the last couple of years, Bobbi Plummer and Steve Dellinger has really surprised me. They've come out of their shell a little bit. They communicate. They are transparent now. They do want to not mess up. I got to be honest. I filed 2 open door law violations against Bobbi Plummer, and I won them both. And I tried smacking them down every time I could because they were in the wrong. However, when I witnessed a couple of their meetings back at the end of last year and into the first of this year, I was like, I think they're really doing much better. So I wrote an email to them, and I said, listen to me. This is big. Did what get held? Oh, you're talking something else. Okay. So I was really shocked that they did better. So I wrote them and I let them know. Now, I've not been happy with Joe Wiley, but I believe that those two are doing the best. And in my opinion, Bobbi Plummer is the shining star, okay? In the last several months, Sproles has been absolutely bullying these commissioners as well as the 7-person council. So that's who we're taking a look at here. All right, let's rock and roll.
30, but that number doesn't add up to 60,000 each. But that should have been 360. But 330,000, that would get us 6 vehicles equipped. It would help us tremendously. It does not cure the problem whatsoever. I think you may have heard Shannon with the council say, you guys, I'm sure you need 15 vehicles right now. And we do, but the 6 vehicles at the 330,000, we can make work for 6. So.
Yes.
So do you do
Jerry,
330
you're
or
right.
do you do wiggle room on that also?
Well,
No, not related to Quentin.
So the council has, if we release or buy the lease, they have appropriated 4 cars for 2024. But approximately,
I would be fine with that
Assuming you
too
can
if we
get
could
it.
figure out a way to do it.
I'm assuming, I mean, I can't speak for the council, you know. I would have liked that the council would have discussed with us before they just put through a number in and said, this is for lease and this is not for lease. So we would have known what their thinking was.
One thing the council reiterated over and over is, you know, we need to keep ARPA and
Don,
council
you're
two separate
exactly
things.
right.
Let's not.
It is 2 separate things,
Yeah,
yes.
so
It would help better understand where they were, what they were budgeting for, so that we could back into whatever number we decide that we're willing to
the
fund.
council has provided 4 vehicles for years and years, 4 vehicles outfitted each year. And they, as they said, they're
No,
aware
he's
that
he's not
pace is
talking
not-
about here. He's talking
we
about
probably
on
need
the Henry
7
County.
vehicles a year in all reality to stay on track.
Obviously,
So we're
Joey is
so far
commenting
behind the
here.
8 ball, as Tim said.
As we can see his
Once you get
comment.
behind, man, it's and we're in so much trouble. So I just, like I said, the council has gotten us 4 vehicles a year for, I don't know, for a very long time. And so I know they advise, let's keep the conversation separate from what we do from ARPA, because I had brought up ARPA a couple of times. I'm like, oh, that's a separate thing. So,
like right now I'm looking at, we're talking somewhere between $595,000 and $615,000. If you're wanting to put a number with that.
You're right, Charlize.
Is that what you just added up? What I'm
Yep.
trying to add up? My fingers won't work.
Yep.
What did you put down for the sheriff?
The 330 to 360. So that's
Thank you.
why, that's what makes you between 595 and 615. If you total all the rest of them in, that's where you're at. So the question here is, because we're trying to, obviously number 29 on our
We have to balance what
resolution, we're going to have to,
Yep.
we're going to split this and have it redone, have Joel rewrite that for 2 separate motions or 2 separate lines.
Well,
So
and
somebody
I
needs to.
still want to balance out because we have $11 million worth of repairs to these
Well, I know.
buildings as well. So I also want to balance that as well.
I'll go on record to say, I appreciate you saying up to 360. I'll go on record to say if you just split that in the middle and said 345, if we could allot a money amount, there is maybe there's a possibility I think I would rather just set a money amount. I don't need to go to 360. I would be thrilled if you said, we're going to allot 330. It has to go to vehicles and upfitting, nothing else.
So has anybody at the Sheriff's Department, I know there are a lot of grants for police vehicles through the state. Does anybody checking on that, looking through those? Because I know there's a lot of grants through the state.
I can't say that we are actively checking on those.
I would encourage that.
What an idiot.
I'll take that.
Yeah, because we have a lot of,
advice.
Tim runs, a lot of departments run on grants. I would encourage that.
Okay, we'll definitely work on that.
Yes, ma'am.
He's getting red. You can see he's getting red, folks. It's getting ready to heat up.
Yeah.
Well, that takes us to the 595 as far as total, if someone's wanting to assign a dollar amount or to take away.
So
from-
let's do this to, well, I don't know if it's more convoluted to make each one a line item by itself. Is that going to be easier or?
I think probably would be easiest if it read that the amount assigned to each department to purchase new vehicles, then the remainder going to improve the county buildings.
Okay, so like a 29, 30, 31, 32, or
you could
just
do
list it all in paragraph?
Yeah, you could do it as 29 would be the vehicles following departments and then assess amounts.
Okay.
And then 30 could be the remaining amounts going to revenue improvements.
So somebody needs to, I'm going to make a motion to move forward on this and then we can continue the discussion and you can put it all in one. So I'm going to make the motion because we haven't gotten to that far, for up to $110,000 for Henry County EMS, 2 SUVs, up to $60,000 for weights and measures, slide unit, up to $85,000 for TIM EMA for a truck. So we can get that off the plate and then move forward with the rest of the discussion. So I will make that motion to modify the coronavirus resolution 2023 9-13-016. Yes, I will.
He's-
Henry County
like,
EMS
what?
up to
Somebody else got,
$110,000.
there's
For
other
2 SUVs.
agencies?
Weights and measures slide
There's
unit of up to
other agencies here in Henry
$60,000.
County that we got to
EMA
for?
up to $85,000.
You mean when people have heart
No,
attacks,
we'll
they
do
need
that.
to be
We'll do that
transported to the hospital?
And I guess my question to further that discussion is, are there grants out there available for each?
I
one
will
of
tell you
those?
that Mandy and Tim daily look for grants and apply for grants. I won't say they apply for grants daily, but every day are looking at grants. Yes. Mandy has run a lot of her
Look
department.
at the red
in the last
neck.
2
Oh,
years on
dude.
grant money.
He turns purple here in a minute.
I think Tim runs almost 90% of his department on grant money, if not almost close to 100% on grant money.
Sproles is not going to do anything with grants.
Well,
That's
I
low
have a
class.
motion. Do I have a second?
He's the Kool-Aid color guy
I have
now.
a
Oh,
motion and a
yeah.
Second for weights and measures, EMS and EMA. I don't know what that total amount would be.
Oh, yeah.
195.
I feel
$255,000.
$255,000. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Now, on to the sheriff's vehicles. Looking at roughly $330,000 left for the purchase of sheriff's vehicles. Any discussion?
Joe's got his thumb on his, like he's gonna, you got your thumb like you're gonna push the button.
I'm just waiting. I'm make a motion that we go forward with the $330,000 for the purchase of the sheriff vehicles.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I don't know if I can second for that amount.
Uh-oh.
I would be
And
willing to
Sproles
go
hates
less,
her
but I don't
right
know
now.
if
There we go.
that high.
Well, then that motion dies for lack of second.
Whoops.
Do I have any other motion?
Uh-oh. Here it goes.
Right, say something.
I'd be willing to go as high as 3 vehicles with ARP. That'll give 7.
What was the motion?
7 police cars.
3 vehicles.
No,
Yeah,
he
at
intends to be
180,000,
ugly.
Up to 180,000.
Plain ugly.
You want to say something?
I do.
Listen,
I want to reiterate what happened in the ARPA meeting, and I want the public to understand what happened. This is very, very clearly a personality conflict.
It is not.
Let me speak, and then you're welcome to.
Let me speak. This is a personality conflict. You know, he's saying that because there's a woman sitting up there. If there were 3 men sitting up there, he would not say that. I cannot believe he said that. Basically, what he's saying right now is, you guys are doing this because she's a bitch. That's what he just said. All right? And she called him out on it. She said, it is not. And then he so rudely says, let me finish speaking, and then you're welcome to it. Excuse me here, son. You're in the commissioner's meeting. You're out of line. Sit down until you are called upon.
So I've been talking about vehicles from January, the start of January. I had a meeting right off the bat at the sheriff's department with several council members, and Commissioner Plummer was there. Vehicles was the main topic. And I asked if ARPA, or ARP, whatever it is, if we could get money for vehicles from ARP. And I specifically asked Commissioner Plummer. She said, well, you'll have to just come and ask. So I asked if ARP funds had been used for emergency vehicles previously. And her response was, it's public information, you can look it up.
Oh, no, I did not. I said, yes, we did. We're not going to get into this back and forth, John.
This is not a back and forth. I requested it to not be. I want to make a statement for the public.
But I'm going to stop you if you put words in my mouth. I said, yes, we did ambulances.
Okay, I had a lot of people there.
Okay.
Okay. So I want to complete the statement. So it was made very clear, you have to come and ask. If you can get vehicles, you have to come and ask the ARP committee. So I said, well, I certainly will be there. What is the date? I apparently put the date in my calendar wrong. I showed up the day before the meeting was to be held. I walked in here, there's nobody in here. I kind of panicked. I thought, oh, I've goofed this up. So I went over to the commissioner's office, and Commissioner Plummer and Commissioner Dellinger were in the office. And I said, oh my goodness. I said, did I miss the ARP meeting? They said, no, that's tomorrow. So I said, oh, thank God. Okay. I said, do I need to get on any special agenda? Obviously, I'm going to ask for vehicles. And the answer was no, you just need to show up and you can ask for vehicles. So I said, okay, no problem. We'll see you tomorrow. Myself and Captain Kovacs, Chief Deputy Smith were here. If I remember correctly, we were the only ones in the seating area. The ARP committee started up. They deliberated for 50 minutes, and then a motion was made to give the rest of the money to the county to do building repairs. And along with that motion, to
right, Josh,
just disband the ARP committee. I was totally in shock. I thought this certainly did not happen the way I heard it. So I came to the podium and I asked, I said, did I just hear a motion to give all of the money to the county for building maintenance and to disband the ARP committee? The answer was yes, and that motion was approved. So I was extremely upset, as I should be. They both knew why I was here. There's no questioning that. I was in their office the day before. That was plainly appeared to be a power move.
It was not. And if I'm going to interrupt you, because then the committee said, Don, come up. Kyle rescinded his motion, and yes, he made a motion. It got convoluted. The ARP committee is an advisory committee only.
Listen to this.
Doesn't mean anybody has to do anything. But you were allowed to present. And a motion was made, but we're not going to go into a back and forth. We're going to stay focused here.
That's correct. I don't want a back and forth. I want to be able to.
Well, I do want to say something because I I remember the conversation in our office, and I do want to make a slight correction because not once during the conversation that I had with you did you mention you were coming for vehicles. You said you wanted to be at the ARP meeting to make a request. You didn't specify vehicles. So to say that I knew you were coming for vehicles, you specifically did not say I'm coming for vehicles. Had you done that, then I would have agreed with everything you just said. Other than that, I beg to differ that that was not the actual conversation, but you did want to be here for a request. And like I told you during that meeting, nothing that was said here was set in stone during the ARP committee meetings. Those were just recommendations. That was their recommendation for the rest of the money and to disband the committee. Because
he doesn't want to back and forth. He just wants to be able to
I then
talk.
told you that if you had a request,
this is like
because
his
that was just a
first ever
suggestion by the
meeting.
committee. And so you made your request, and that's where we're at.
So back to the,
He didn't
you
listen
have
to
to come and
anything
ask.
Steve
Here's
just
what
said.
is really odd to me. So I was allowed finally to ask. I asked for 330,000 for 6 vehicles.
Request, yes.
Nobody else was there to ask for anything. So today, $255,000
Nice little bit of both,
has been
Audie.
given to departments who were not there to ask.
Now listen to this.
And
And if you recall in that meeting, I said, if we're going to talk about vehicles for county departments, let's add in, because Tim had talked to me prior about, hey, I'm in need. Mandy, because I meet with these department heads all the time, that but so-
correct. So you had a very clear understanding that I'm in desperate need of vehicles. I would have assumed you might have brought that up even, you brought it up for them.
you
asked
came
for
and
it,
asked
don't
for
even
it.
get it.
I'm not going to argue with you, John. I am not going to argue. You can be upset that these are in here.
Oh.
That's fine. Be upset.
Listen, I'm not
But,
upset.
Henry County EMS doesn't get a dime of county money. They operate solely on what they produce, 100%. He gets very little of county money. He operates on grants. They don't have any money for vehicles. They don't get any money appropriated out of the general fund for vehicles. So I get it. You can be upset, and that's fine. I mean, everybody has their own opinion, but this is not going to be a going back and forth,
He
bashing,
says again.
doing whatever, however you want to do it. We're not going to do it. So
And I'm not,
Even this right here, what we're recommending, once the resolution is drawn up, we could vote it down and not approve it for EMA, EMS, or the sheriff's department. These are just recommendations, and this is a resolution that we're going to have Joel rewrite and send back to us, and then we will vote on it. We may change and say, okay, we're only going to approve this
and the
now.
council may say, we're not approving any of it. I mean, because I think that was brought up at your budget meeting, that
I understand.
the commissioners make the plan for the ARP, and if they don't like it, they don't have to approve it, which is absolutely true.
I understand that. And most certainly, I am not upset about these departments getting emergency vehicles. They need them probably as bad as we do. I am happy with that. I guess what throws me is there's $5 million going to buildings. And for some reason you have an issue with a certain amount of money. You're good for 180,000, but boy, you've got to.
That'll give you 7 vehicles, which is 3 more than any other sheriff prior to you has ever gotten. It's a compromise, John. Sometimes we have to compromise.
Well, they didn't have to compromise at all. You just simply made up out of thin air. We're going to give them this, this, and this. I come asking for it and don't get it. So here is my biggest concern. I've said it over and over. I want to make it clear because I want.
I mean, it may die for a lack of second. I don't know. If we could just move on. I have heard you. You have made your point. You have made your point.
I haven't made the point that I am. I don't know, what was that?
That was your microphone.
Okay. Here's what I want the community to know. The main reason that I am asking for vehicles is for safety. It's for safety. We have officers who drive hundreds of thousands of miles a year, driving vehicles that are falling apart. It is a liability issue. It puts my officers at risk.
Understand that.
It puts the county at risk for lawsuits. I have given this illustration. I'm going to give it again. The Indiana Sheriff's Association warned us about
buying 7 cars, getting 7 cars will do a lot to help that. He's right. So shut up and take what they're giving you.
this. A county would not spend money to fix a $500-ish part on a vehicle. It failed and killed the chief deputy's wife. The county paid out millions of dollars in a lawsuit.
Wife?
My issue
How
is
did it
the
kill
safe.
the chief deputy's wife? Why would it kill? What
I
was
tried
she
to
doing?
research this. I could not find anything regarding a suit involving the death of a chief deputy's wife here in Indiana. I don't know what he's talking about. I spent an hour trying to find something. I couldn't find anything.
Hey, that's amazing, Kate. Because I didn't think about doing that. That's good. And I know we've got some law enforcement officers on here. So if any of you know of what he's talking about, I mean, I don't want to make light of what he's talking about. I also want to say, like, all right, maybe don't have the wife in the car. You know what I mean? Like, okay, whatever. But bottom line is now we can't even find it. So that's weird. Did he say what county it was? Hold on, let's go back and listen.
Fix a $500-ish part on a vehicle. It failed and killed the chief deputy's wife. The county paid out millions of dollars in a lawsuit. My issue is the safety of our officers, the safety of the people that we are passing when we're running to emergency calls. That is my issue. We are putting our officers
your issue
in great liability, and I cannot make sense, and I know I don't have to, but what is happening right here?
It would be helpful.
Does not make any sense that there is a
have to make
$100 and
sense.
some $1,000 that you have an issue with. It makes no sense at all. You will give them, when you told us you have to come and ask. I came and asked. I don't get what I asked for. The other people you just make it up. I would appreciate
I
you
didn't
just
make it up, John, and we're repeating and circling back around. We get your point. We get your point.
Well,
And let us finish our discussion, because we could sit here for an hour and circle back around.
Okay,
and
well, I'm
back
not going to
around and back
circle. I'm
around.
not going to circle anymore. And I've had to circle because you keep wanting to talk here. I could have made the statement and been done.
Oh.
But I want to say this. Our department, our guys, they're watching very clearly. They know very clearly what is going on. And you are putting our officers at risk.
So if I don't give
Bottom
you
line.
15 cars, if we don't vote for 15 cars, are you going to say that we're putting officers at risk? We don't give you 100 cars, we're putting your officers at risk. What's the number that you're not going to tell me that I am crapping all over the officers?
Okay. The
Your
number
officers
is,
know exactly how I appreciate them and how I feel about them. So don't try to make this as I don't give a crap about the sheriff's department.
Woo!
the number would be that we requested $330,000 for vehicles.
And that's what I expect. Listen to me right now. Listen to me right now. This is nuts. I was sitting watching this with my grandparents today when this was going on. And my grandparents were both getting pretty excited, like keyed up. Like they were like, yeah, you know, this is great. She's doing a good job. And I literally thought I should maybe call 911 in Henry County and report that they needed to send somebody to the commissioners meeting because there was somebody there getting out of line. Listen, I was literally in a public meeting just like this, and I was arrested for saying, you're out of order. This whole place is out of order. This is a joke. He is way more out of line than I was. I mean, I'm not ever a fan of arresting somebody for speech and for being upset. But good Lord, I mean, if I was arrested for that, he definitely needs to be thrown in the pokey.
Narrowing that number down because of some reason, I have no idea.
Unruly man with
It
a
doesn't,
gun.
it doesn't
Podium.
make good practical sense. That's my opinion.
Part of this goes back to where the money was originally supposed to go to in the first place. And everything extra we take out to give somebody else is something else that doesn't get taken care of. It's just like going to the grocery store. If you want to buy 4 loaves of bread, but you get the check out and you only got money to take care of, you can only buy 1. All right. You have to put 3 loaves back. And that's what we're faced every time we take something out of this, because this money originally was all supposed to go for the maintenance and repair of buildings. So we're not going to get this opportunity again. And that's what we're looking at, was everything we take away from it. And
look at how
your request for more vehicles isn't any different than any other sheriff that's come before you that's asked for vehicles. And they've managed to do with what they've had. And we're not saying no to new vehicles, but we're given more than we've ever given before. And you could buy a brand new vehicle and have a part fail on it and cause an accident. And if you go back to where somebody else was riding in a vehicle, it goes back to the argument of whether we should have take-home vehicles or not. And I remember you having that discussion when you were campaigning for sheriff.
This idiot's going to get take-home cars for his officers.
So then that discussion, I mean, this could keep going on and we never get anywhere.
Do we have, let me ask you this question. Do the commissioners have the authority to dice this up? Is that not, I'm just wondering, because we've gone from an ARPA resolution to the commissioners now sorting out things.
The commissioners make the plan of all ARPA funds, yes.
I'll say in all reality, there didn't even have to be an ARPA committee. The commissioners were the sole proprietors of that funds, period. We did it to help and get more input from other people.
With the council having to appropriate. So we could put all of this together. We could put in $360,000 into the council, into here for your cars, and the council could vote it down.
Could we take that chance?
I have stated where I'm at
Could I take
right now.
that chance?
Now, it's not, nothing's been said. Joe Wiley has not weighed in on it. And, you know, Joe, if you want to weigh in on it, but I think it's a healthy compromise. You know, the sheriff's department of the ARP money already has gotten well over $500,000 of ARP money over the past 2 years.
Listen,
I'll wait in at the 330, which
Joe's quiet because he wanted to give him the $330,000. He was just going to give him the money he asked for, and no one seconded it, so nothing happened. And he's mad. He wants to help Sproles.
failed. And if you've made a motion for 180, if that's going to be the maximum amount, I don't know. I haven't heard a second to that either, so I don't know.
Well, we were just in the discussion phase at that point.
I was going to say, because I'm still unsure on whether
Annie.
I would approve if it came back to me on whether we got 2 squads for EMS at this point, or we just got 1, and whether we approved Gabe's slide in.
Gabe's slide is required by law.
So that's where I was at with it.
Yeah, Road Warrior.
And I'm hoping that Tim finds a vehicle for less than $85,000, but
So I will make the motion for three vehicles for the sheriff's department. That will give them a total of 7, which is more than any previous sheriff had ever gotten.
I'm not going to sign a lease, so apparently it's not going to give us a total of 7.
You said you were going to look at financing 4 out of that $64,000.
I said the council can deal with all of the financing or all that.
Well, then you have to take that part to the council
Correct. So they have approved $64,000 is what they have at least stated in their budget.
Well,
was
I
going to
can't-
give
I
you
can't control them.
180.
Okay, so I don't want you to don't say that they're going to get 4 vehicles because we're not aware of that.
Look at
So we may
Joel
get
getting-
one.
I will change that I don't know what the council's going to do. I will assume that $64,000 or whatever will cover for lease to purchase vehicles as it did.
So that's.
It's not a lease. It's what you said about going to the bank like the city did. It's not a lease. It was called a lease to purchase. Are you not signing that either?
I don't believe that in that regard that that doesn't have to do with me, as I have said earlier. I believe that's
Correct,
a council
but
issue.
I am saying the 64,000, if that would work that way, that's why I will take it out to say, so that you don't get upset, 7
Maybe
vehicles.
we can buy
The
half
council
a
can deal
car.
with the
Now, that's pretty
64,000
funny.
and the whatever they annually budget for the sheriff's vehicles.
So what was the statement on the 7 vehicles then?
I'm not saying that you will get 7 vehicles. I'm saying that I'm making the motion for 3 vehicles. I will take out the comment that the council has 4 vehicles.
So if you go with what the council has approved already at the 64,000 and
hilarious.
180 that you did, that's a total of $244,000 for sheriff's vehicles.
They have not approved anything to my
It's in their
knowledge.
budget.
It's in their budget.
Because
what
they said that
approved.
if you didn't lease, that would buy you 1 car and that's.
Correct, but it's not approved. I mean, it's
It-
budget.
that- it will be approved. So that'll give you 200 and whatever thousand. I mean, if you did,
244.
if you did the thing with the lease to own, lease to purchase, or financing, I'm going to change the name of it, John, to financing through the bank.
What if they,
Purchase
but if they
a lot of
don't,
cars.
here's the thing. If they don't,
If they, who don't?
we can get 1
doesn't?
car, we'll have 4 cars. And I want the
If you
community.
listen to what I just said, so 200,
244,000.
so leased or purchase to, or financing at a bank, that would probably get you, I don't know.
I've been told over and over, keep those separate. I think earlier in this meeting, you said. yeah,
I'm just saying,
So
I'm just saying in an overall,
what if the council gives us 10 cars, then do we not get any? Let's,
no, this is, the council, we don't have the money to give you 10 cars. The council doesn't have the money to give you 10 cars. But anyway, let the council, you will get that $64,000. So if you add 180 plus 64, that's 244. If you did like the city and finance 10 vehicles, you could probably finance 10 vehicles with $244,000
here's what I want to make clear.
instead of buying outright.
If we get into a situation where our cars are out of service, I'm telling you, we're not going to have cars on the road.
All right.
And so
Well, I can tell you, I could go tell you today to go buy 20 cars and you won't have them tomorrow. It'll be months before you get them. So what are you going to do in the meantime?
exactly what I just said,
Okay.
because I've been talking about this for 9 months now. 9 months. It's a critical issue. It's a critical
Yeah,
issue.
Joe.
And we are arguing over, out of $5 million some dollars, arguing over, you say 180, we can do 180, but we can't do this 330. That's absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I appreciate your opinion.
Well, right now I have a motion on the floor for $180,000 for 3 vehicles.
Funny.
Do I have a second on that one?
Annie.
I guess we're at a standstill.
Woo! He's not getting any
That
cars.
dies for lack of second. Any further discussion?
No cars. Obviously, Charlize.
We're playing with our officers' safety.
Listen.
And this is a goofy game. It's a goofy game. We're
Listen,
talking
I
about
made a
safety.
motion. Don't just look at me.
I appreciate him not seconding the motion.
Okay.
I appreciate that. I would rather be at a gridlock because you started it, and it's officer safety and public safety, and I don't appreciate it.
I would appreciate stopping the attacks. I know you don't respect me. I get that. And I really don't care if you respect me or not, but I am sitting here as an elected commissioner, and you will stop, please.
You started it, but what am
I am standing here as the elected.
And I have not disparaged you in any way, shape, or form.
You're disparaging us from vehicles.
I am not,
You're disparaging
John.
our department.
John, I respect your position. I respect you in that position.
That's my
I expect the
favorite
same
line of
courtesy.
the whole thing.
Stop,
Listen,
please.
listen.
I am standing here as the elected.
And I have not disparaged you in any way, shape, or form.
You're disparaging us from vehicles.
I am not,
You're disparaging
John.
our department.
You're just.
He needs a dictionary badly and a thesaurus. Can we get a pot going to send him one?
I'll just
of
go
each of
buy one
those?
tomorrow.
Okay.
You're disparaging him. You're disparaging us from our cars, from our vehicles. I do English. Oh, I gotta go back and listen to it again. Hold on, here we go. We'll start back 1 minute.
Game, we're
Listen,
talking
I
about
made
safety.
a motion.
Game.
Don't just look at me.
I appreciate him not seconding the motion.
Okay.
I appreciate that. I would rather be at a gridlock because you started it, and it's officer safety and public safety, and I don't
You
appreciate.
started it.
I would appreciate stopping the attacks. I know you don't respect me. I get that. And I really don't care if you respect me or not. But I am sitting here as an elected commissioner, and you will stop. Please.
I wish she wouldn't have said you will stop. I wish she would have said, and you will respect the office. I wish she would have said that, but whatever.
I am standing here as the elected.
And I have not disparaged you in any way, shape, or form.
You're disparaging us from vehicles.
I am not,
You're disparaging
John.
our department.
John,
You're disparaging us.
I respect your position. I respect you in that position. I expect the same courtesy for not only me, him, or anybody else sitting here. You can agree, you cannot agree. That's fine. You and I can have a differing of opinion. That's fine. I still respect you for what you do in law enforcement and everybody else.
Absolutely, Road Warrior.
So Joe, that's up to you. What do you want to do? I mean, you didn't want to do what I wanted to do. We're kind of at a standstill. So do we just move on?
And you didn't want to do what I wanted to do, so where do we find
I don't know.
ground
Commissioner
we can
Dellinger,
agree on?
your thoughts?
I'm sorry, I stepped in.
No, I said
No.
Commissioner Dellinger, your thoughts. You've been quiet on this.
Was Steve asleep?
You know, I'm trying to figure out where the compromise level is.
Yeah, right.
And if anybody has any thoughts, I'd be more than happy to hear them.
I'm listening for yours. I have voiced my opinion. Joe has voiced his. You have not voiced yours.
She's telling how it is.
Is it too much to ask for a reason for, and if so, it's fine. I don't know. Can I ask for a reason for going from 330 to 180?
I think it's a good compromise. That's all I'm going to
I'm
tell
asking
you.
for a reason.
I have given you my reason. That's it. You can like it or not like it. Let's move on to other business and we'll come back to it because otherwise we're going to sit here for another 45 minutes and get nothing done. So I have given you my reason. That's it. You can like it or not like it. Let's move on to.
Who did that?
other business and we'll come back to it, because otherwise we're going to sit here for another 45 minutes and get nothing done. So I'm going to ask that we move on to this and we'll circle back at the end.
Well, we can do that. I was just going to make a suggestion. If we
Yes,
did
Yoko. 200
with what the council has approved, that's 264,000. That's total for either purchase, you want lease to own, however you want to
Yes, Eric. you did.
qualify that.
You need to make it in a motion.
Well, I
We
just wanted to know
don't
if that was
negotiate with
acceptable,
terrorists. Wait until
'cause
you
that
see him walk out of
compromises
here.
between.
You making a motion?
Well, I was asking if that was, I thought we were up for discussion here, so I was asking if that was acceptable or to my colleagues, I guess.
That sounds like a compromise that would work.
No woman will talk to me like that. That's exactly right.
So does anyone want to make a motion on that?
I will make the motion for 200,000. I will compromise up additional 220 against my initial.
A second.
Motion's been made and second to spend $200,000 on sheriff's cars with council approval in their budget of 64,000, which
What,
puts
Josh
us at
Peeler?
total
What's happening?
264,000 with purchase of police cars. I have a motion and a second.
It's no better than last year, including ARPA.
I got
Including
socks
ARPA.
last year for
Last year.
Christmas.
Last year was $150,000 for police cars. Why is it not better?
4 vehicles, 4 sixes are 240,000.
Yes. Sproles shotgun.
But if you're going to do the purchase to own, then the payments would allow you to get more vehicles.
You're really not even going to look at the financing at Citizen State Bank?
That's
like the
not
city?
my thing to do. That's the council. We could,
Ryan Alva.
that's not my issue. We could look at, if we just
I
run
would
numbers like
be,
this.
if you think about it, $264,000 to finance
Okay.
is going to get you many more cars.
Okay, so here's what I would request then. If we're just going to run numbers like that, let's try to look into financing over a 10-year period. That'll help us get more cars. If that's the way we're going to look at it, let's try to get a loan.
Why would
and
you
spread
finance
that-
a car over a 10-year period?
Yeah. What?
I'm just making a comment. It's very relative about, we're just looking, we can finance you. We could do all kind of things. We need to get to the heart of the matter.
The heart of the matter, John, is you want 15 cars. If we can look at.
That's correct. And I only asked for
Listen to this. Yeah. Wanting 15 vehicles, coming to the meeting, hoping to get 7, getting a path to potentially getting 10, making a complete ass out of yourself, priceless. I would have revoked my motion. This is nuts.
for 6 from you, from Art. And we need 15 cars. And
I understand that, but how many cars can you, what?
You apparently don't understand it good enough if you understand that we need 15 cars. And
You have requested, I don't know that you need 15 cars. You have requested 15 cars.
Well,
I would
I've
have to
actually
go look at all of
requested
the
6.
vehicles.
I've requested
At
6.
one point earlier in the year, you requested 15. But I think it's a good compromise to see how much we could get on, because I think they got 10. Do you remember what the dollar figure
right.
was?
Road
But they
Warrior.
did 10. My guess is you could probably do close to 10 financed over 4 years with $264,000. If not, my goodness. I obviously I haven't run the numbers, but
And I figure at that point, that starts you on your rotation, I would like to think, instead of hanging on to them for
This
that
arguing
long.
is
This is my last statement on it. Here's the bottom line. This is a messed up deal from the get-go. Everybody understands this is a
I knew
need. It's
you
not a
guys were planning to do something to me from the moment I came in here. This was messed up from the beginning. You guys were conjuring. You were conjuring with those black people on those buses. You were conjuring with Officer Humphrey. You were gang members like that other black kid I didn't like.
Don't forget, they're also sex trafficking out of that room.
Right? And Joel Harvey is sex trafficking. Conjuring. I can see Bobby doing some conjuring.
want. It's a need. Everybody understands that. We're dealing with a chunk of money that, as you said, this opportunity is not going to come along again. It's a one-time opportunity that I would think would be well, we would be well to invest in these items that can cure a problem, or at least start helping the cure. You've said there's 11 million needed in repair, so 5 million don't really make a dent in it. We can cure.
Yeah, because we bonded 5.7
We can
million.
cure, really start the cure to the vehicles through this. And I'll never understand how we went from requesting 330 and somehow it's got narrowed down to we're trying to make a deal with 200 when other people weren't even at the meeting, never came and asked, but we're going to dump off 250. And I wish they had dump off.
John, I brought it up at that committee meeting.
I know.
And I don't care if they came to ask or not.
Well, you told me I had to come and ask, and you didn't give me the opportunity when I got here.
You said, is there ARP available? I said, you can come and request ARP. I have had conversations with each one of these department heads. You can agree with it or not agree with it. You can get on with it, not get on with it.
So you had conversations and you gave them what they asked for.
You didn't ask for anything in that meeting. You said, is ARP available? And I said, yes, it is. All you have to do is come.
Look at him storm out.
You said, is ARP available? I'm done arguing with this. So a motion was made and seconded.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next up, we have.
I get met with resistance.
What even happened there? What happened there? Do we know? Do we even know what happened there? Like, I'm not 100% sure what happened there. I want to say a big thank you to Joshua Kimbrell for putting that video together and boosting the sound. I got the sound boosted on my end, but I didn't get to put it over the video in time because I had to leave for that Muncie council or the Muncie mayoral forum tonight. So in the future, thank God I found a way to boost their feeds. I would tell them what they ought to do is they ought to cut more out of his cars, and they all spend about a good, I'm telling you, if they would permit me to have, if they would set aside $10,000, I'd be even willing to say $5,000. Between $5,000 and $10,000, I could outfit their meeting room as well as the meeting room out at the Memorial Park with top quality cameras, sound equipment, and everything that they need. I could do that for $10,000. Now, it cost them $80,000 last time to do it, and we see what we get there. But I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't even know what the hell they did. I don't even know what they did. So I had to go back and watch that 2 or 3 times at the end. Yes, at the end of the day, they did vote on the compromise, like the second compromise, which is going to give him It's 200,000 is what he got. And what's hilarious is literally about 2 minutes after he storms off, you hear a siren just going and going and going. A couple people asked me if I thought that was him. Oh, good Lord. Oh, man, I'm telling you, it is, yes, Annie, that's exactly. He is very narcissistic. It is absolutely disgusting. It's very crazy that other people don't see this. I'm telling you, if you live, work, or play in Henry County, or you know someone who lives, works, and plays in Henry County, please, 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 for the love of all that is holy, share this video with them. Share this video so they can hear everything that he did, so they can hear the commentary, and moreover, so they can hear that, unfortunately, John Sproles is turning Henry County into a laughingstock. Okay? Like, it's nuts. The woman is Bobbi Plummer. She is the longest serving commissioner of any of the ones on there currently, I think. Maybe her and Dellinger came on together. But Bobbi Plummer is her name, and putting Sproles in his place is her game. And she is someone that I have really started to grow to respect. I feel like she's done a good thing for the citizens of Henry County. And I'll tell you another thing that she did last year or the year before. Even when I didn't like her for things that was going on and I took issue with some things that she was doing, in the middle of all of that, she packed up and she drove down to Indianapolis, and she went and she testified on the floor of the State House because Indianapolis was trying to do away with home rule when it come to solar ordinances and windmill ordinances and things like this. And Bobbi Plummer went down there and gave them what for. Absolutely gave a tremendous speech. And when I heard that speech, that's when I first thought, man, she does get this. She does understand liberty, and she does understand freedom, and she does understand, what it truly means to be a citizen here, in Indiana today, in a community and whatnot. And so I really liked what she said, and I actually wrote her an email then, giving her props, and I don't think that went very far because we had been, confrontational with each other. Never to that level. We were never, that level disrespectful to one another. And look, I want to be honest. She was not disrespectful to him. She was right in line with how she should have been. Honestly, she could have been a bit toucher. You know what I mean? What are you talking about here? For the road rage incident. Okay, did someone have a comment? Oh yeah, it's crazy. I just couldn't wrap my head around it. My grandparents and I were watching this in real time. And I was like, oh, no, he didn't. He didn't just, do that. He didn't say that. He gets up and he's literally yelling in to the microphone loud enough that it's peaking. It's going into the red and it's echoing in there. And it was just so uncomfortable. He is such an embarrassment. Like literally, I have heard, and I can't say from who, but as he was leaving, he was like kind of like kicking and punching at things and just making excessive noise and just being downright ridiculous. I mean, just absolutely crazy. They were conspiring to infiltrate while disparaging his gang of car eating. That is hilarious. Yes. They're a badge factory, Eric. Just horrible. How are they driving all of these miles in Henry County? So that's a thing that I want to ask is, how many miles do you think that these deputies should be putting on their cars when they're not pool cars, they're take-home cars, so they're not getting used, 24 hours a day like most police cars. They are being used during that shift and then they're taken home. How many cars, does the sheriff's department need? How much does a badge cost in Henry County? Well, I've heard it's $100,000. It's $100,000 this year. If you got $100,000 and you've got some money that $100,000 to loan to Sproles, you too, sir, can have your own credentials as a special deputy. But you've just got to be willing to give Sproles the $100,000. Who's driving them to Florida? Who's driving them to Florida for spring break? Absolutely. I don't know, folks. That was crazy. How many officers do they have? Do we have anybody that can assist with that? They've got 17 deputies. And I've heard of those 17 deputies, the top brass, the top 8 or 9 guys on the department all basically drive unmarked cars. So, I don't know. It seems like to me, if Sproles really wanted to give back to his guys and really wanted to let them have the very best of everything, that he would give up his car for one of the road guys and let them use that or whatever, and find some other transportation to work. I don't know. They can rotate the vehicle every 3 years. What is wrong with that? Yeah, right. Road deputies is only about 7. No, they've got more than 7 road deputies. They've definitely got more than 7. Wait, Danny. Where did you see that at? Where did you see that at? I always felt the sheriff himself should be in a marked. The sheriff should be in a marked car. The sheriff should be in a marked car, and the sheriff should have be fully visible. In my opinion, the sheriff should wear his Class A's, which that's something Sproles does do. But yeah, they definitely need to put his ass in a marked car. Every 2 years because they're high mileage, then they don't need them to be taken home. No, yeah, that wasn't Henry County, and he said that the wife of the chief deputy was killed, but he didn't name where, so I'm gonna have to do a deep dive into that to find out. Schedule also, and his car should be ugly. Make him drive the one that's been dented and it's all marked up. It's got the right side mirror's been busted off of it. Oh, he would have a shit fit over that. That would just be too good. I don't know. I really, really, really don't know. Yeah, I honestly think he's lying. I think everything he said in there, people really need to take with a grain of salt. And I think that everyone out here definitely needs to take it with a grain of salt. I think that Sproles he's out of control, ladies and gentlemen. That's just probably some of the craziest behavior I've ever seen. Because I'm going to use a line out of his speech. Imagine if he's willing to treat his fellow elected officials like that. Then what's he willing to do to one of us? How's he going to treat me if he pulls me over? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Where did you post it, Joey? He's not going to want to be ugly about it. He was being specifically ugly about it. So, that's that, folks. I don't know. I'm going to be following this. I did ask for the radio traffic from the time, from the Riddick time. So hopefully we will have that soon. Let me check here real quickly. Okay. I'm not being able to find it. Yeah, I tell you, my hat goes off to Bobbi Plummer. Bobbi Plummer did the right thing in that meeting. She did her very best to control the meeting. And listen, she's not even the president of the meeting, but she's the one that was doing most of the talking And, in my opinion, most of the heavy lifting dealing with Sproles and taking the heat off the other two's back. So they definitely need to, give her that credit, because she put up a hell of a fight and kept the wolf at bay for as long as possible. If you're driving in Henry County, you need to be careful. If you live, work, or play, or someone that lives, works, or play, if you have a loved one, a friend, a family member, please, please, please remember to share with them this show. It's called The Political Spotlight on YouTube. You can also find us on Twitter. Very soon, our audio podcast is going to be literally everywhere. And all that's going to be is the nightly episodes uploaded to audio podcast format. So you're going to be able to find us there. I post all these videos in a couple different playlists, but the one on Sproles, I have its very own playlist. It's there and easy to find. So please share this with everyone. They need to see it. And we will have a few more things for you coming up. Tomorrow, obviously, is Thursday. I cannot believe that already. It's Thursday already, which means it should, if everything's good, be the last show of the week. We won't be here, of course, Friday or Saturday, depending on if everything goes good and smooth. So we'll have to see. But be looking out for that show tomorrow at 9 p.m. And then, of course, I'm really excited for Monday's show. Monday's show is going to be our interview with Elvante Riddick. So please check that out and be here and help spread the word. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready to roll out of here. The postscript for this evening is, and I want to say this, man, this is so good. God, this is very important. Let me say it. Get this. I want to make sure that I say this very clearly. I don't want to say it wrong. The postscript for tonight is, it's not enough to not be corrupt. It's not enough to not be corrupt. That is a killer line. And that, of course, is the line that Jeff Robinson used while in the candidate forum when he was answering a question about his opponent right now. So it's not enough to not be corrupt. All right, ladies and gentlemen, remember, if you want to see that live video, you can find it on our YouTube channel. Remember, the first couple minutes of it, the audio, you can hear it. It's just a little wonky, but it does even out. So give it a chance. You'll find it there. We will have that more on that story tomorrow. I will do the breakdown and the analysis of that happening tomorrow. So check that out. Until then, you guys take care. God bless. Have a good evening. Goodbye.